IPMNation.com.
Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We are here, as we are every week, at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. And I always say, please support your local businesses in addition to the local music scene. Very, very important. Of course, the studio, funky little gift shop and art gallery. Very, very cool place. TheStudioNH.com is the website if you want to check it out online. Also, we're sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your event, you can go to centralnhevents.com. Tim Martin does a great job. And also Tweak Sound and Mastering. Tweaksound.com is the website if you need some recording done. Matt Marcil, located right in Concord. He can help you out with that, with recording, production, etc. And, of course, also more recently, we're sponsored by Sonic Wallpaper. Ryan LeMay and some of his colleagues doing a great job helping the local scene as far as people needing musical lessons who maybe can't afford to go to some other places for it. So we had Ryan on the show talking about that. I think it was about 5 weeks ago now, so you can check that out in the archive. We do archive all the shows at IPMNation.com/local outbreak. Speaking of archives, you can find the archives for these guys. They've been on the show twice before. Anna Sapphira, we have John and Doug here. How are you guys?
Very good, man. How are you doing?
Good. It's been a long time since I've interviewed you, and what's funny is, we have a lot of repeat guests on the show, but it's usually, like I'll interview somebody, and then, maybe 6 months later, they're like, hey, we got something new, can we come back, But it's been, you guys have really kind of spread it out. I think I probably interviewed you the first year that we had this show going, and then, maybe another, 3 years ago when we had the place in Tilton where we used to, I don't even remember the name of the studio. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's taken us a while to learn what promotion and marketing is, so maybe you'll see us in another 6 months when we have something to talk about.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here. You got a new release, so we've got, again, John Lamper and Doug Allen. And who else is in the band? It's all we were talking off air, it's all the same guys,
all
right?
All the same guys, yeah.
Which is amazing for a 6-year run thus far. That's actually remarkable.
Yeah, longer than some marriages these days. That's learn to love each other.
Yeah. So who else is in the band?
We've got Austin Blake, who plays bass, and his brother Travis Blake on guitar, and then Jordan Meir on guitar as well.
Okay. Where are those guys tonight? This is big-time radio. I can't believe they'd miss us.
I know, yeah. I don't know the entire story. I just know something about an estranged uncle in an ostrich farm. I'm not positive about the details, but...
Right. I saw something about that in the news. I didn't know it was connected with those guys. That's humiliating. I feel badly for them, actually.
Yes, it's awful. Yeah.
It's unspeakable, really, so we probably shouldn't speak of it anymore.
That's good, because I don't have any other details. So that makes that easy.
And even if you did, what I already know is horrendous. So but I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you've survived this whole debacle.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been good surviving.
And you got a new disc, Edgewalker.
That's the one.
And looks like a full length, which is cool.
Yes, first one.
Oh, really? Is it your first full length?
Our premiere full length.
Nice,
yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, why don't we hear something from it, and then we'll come back and catch up. What do you guys want to play to open the show?
Absolutely. Let's play the first track we put out off of it, called Heavy Hands.
All right, cool. This is Heavy Hands from Anna Sapphira here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Your blood runs thicker when the rivers dry. Quiet, electric,
Hi, this is Ryan from the New Prophets, and I'd like to tell you about a program called Sonic Wallpaper at Toad Hall. It is a donation-based guitar lessons open to everyone and anyone that has the desire to learn guitar. The classes are from 6 to 8 every Tuesday at Toad Hall in Franklin, and Danielle is one of our students.
Being a part of Sonic Wallpaper has helped me find where I fit in and has opened my eyes to the endless possibilities that are out there.
I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Manchester Music Mill, German Motorsports, Bob Rice, Boscop Incorporated, and Abbott Business Networks. Email us for more information or to sign up at thenewprophets@gmail.com.
Welcome to Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We're here at the studio with John and Doug from Anna Sapphira. And let's get the obvious question out of the way for those who haven't heard you on here before. Where does the name come from?
Oh, gosh. Well, you could look in the archives because I think we've answered this before. However,
yes,
the name...
But I don't remember. So.
You don't remember. Fair enough. Well, when we first started out, when we were, 16, 17?
Yeah.
Doug was starting a project with Jordan and Austin, who I had never met, either of them, and I wanted desperately to be in a band. So I was willing to play keyboards and do backup vocals, even though I have never done either of those things. And he said they wanted a one-word name, so I thought about it and prayed about it, and the name popped into my head, and I wrote it down, and nobody liked it for a long time. And then we were at practice once, and Doug's mom was looking up names. She was looking up names in a name book and found that Anna was a Hebrew name, and it meant full of grace, having to do with the grace of God. And Sapphira was a Greek word, a Greek name meaning precious and beautiful. So together we've taken them to mean together the beautiful grace of God.
Yeah.
That was really the perspective that we wanted to play music from.
Yeah.
We wanted to play serious, intense, express the serious and intense things going on inside of us that we were seeing in the world, but always from the perspective of grace, never from the perspective of just anger and hopelessness and any of that. So it's really our name is an accountability check to ourselves and our own expression, really.
That's really cool.
So,
really cool. What was your original name, though? The one-word name that...
That was it. Well, it ended up being two words, but in my mind, it was all together one thing.
I gotcha.
Originally, it was hyphenated, but we just left it to be two words. Yeah.
Was it hyphenated for a long time?
It was,
because I feel like when I interviewed you guys before, it was.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Facebook wouldn't let us change it.
And
now,
now you're stuck with it.
It's the cementing of Facebook. If Facebook says your name is hyphenated and you can't change it, then that's just what you're stuck with.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they did let us drop it finally.
Yeah, and there was an update.
Yeah.
We got on that train real quick.
Oh wow, that's cool. So how do you keep the same lineup for 6 years? That's unheard of, at least around here. That's amazing.
Well, there's not a whole lot of musicians in our area compared to other cities.
Well, it's not just that.
No, I'm just kidding.
We definitely went through rough patches and stuff like that, but it was just kind of like we just know that the five of us work really, really well together, and we just kind of like learned how to work together and work through issues, and we weren't gonna have our band fall apart because of all of we always hear ridiculous things like of why people are leaving bands and stuff, so we just kind of like pushed through, and now we're like the best friends ever, better than ever. We just keep getting better and better and better friends.
That's really cool.
To me, the five of us is Anna Sapphira. So it'd be very difficult for me to see any one of us. I mean, without really good reason. Not being a part of this anymore. Yeah. And still being the same band.
Sure.
Because it's sort of like, I think even at the beginning, I had an idea of what the band, our band or whatever, should be, and the people were disposable and interchangeable to get to that vision. But now I see it as we are who we are, and we will create what we're capable and what is inside of us to create, and that's what makes Anna Sapphira, as opposed to the that kind of reverse direction. This is what we want to make, and
working within like understanding that all of us have different strengths, and we've learned how to like let John work in his strengths and me and Austin, and like all of us work in our strengths, and that counterbalances like my weaknesses are someone else's strength, and we've just kind of like learned who we are. And at this point, like I couldn't imagine switching.
It'd be weird.
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
No, that's very cool. How much material do you guys have? Because over 6 years, I would think you probably have accumulated quite a bit of stuff.
Not as much as you'd think.
Really?
We put out our first EP or demo, whatever you want to call it. That was 4 songs.
Yeah.
And we put out Damien. That was 6 tracks. And this is our first full length.
Okay.
It's taken us a long time to learn how to write music together. And but I think we're catching our stride and very excited for what's to come.
Yeah.
Already have lots of ideas for the next album, which won't be very soon, but it will come.
So let's talk about, now I haven't looked at this yet, but I heard you guys talking to Melissa about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open it up right now and have a look. Talking about the artwork.
Yeah, just ignore that picture of the Jonas Brothers. That was a misprint.
Yeah. Well, that makes it, if you guys are ever famous, that'll be a collector's item.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at, do you want to describe, because obviously this is an audio medium, and but you tell the audience what you were telling Melissa about how the artwork came about.
Yeah, so we were really inspired by kind of 90s artwork, 90s bands artwork.
Yeah.
Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and Jordan and Doug. Was both of you that came up with the idea?
Yeah, I had mentioned an idea to Jordan, and it just kind of evolved into what this is now. And
So what it is Jordan got a plate of glass and painted it black, and then he scratched out every lyric by hand, and then he put a light behind it.
Yeah.
Which went through the glass, and then he took an actual picture of that and then put that into the computer and made it so it was just black and white. And so every lyric was hand scratched. Cover. It was almost scary to. The cover of an album, it's the cover. It's what you... Yeah. Not everyone even looks inside to read the lyrics, but the cover is what's going to show up on iTunes. It's what's going to show up on every review. And it was, for me personally, it was kind of scary to allow the cover to be something that would showcase human error and all of that. But now I've grown to love it and not really want to do it anyway. I feel like it's the cover. It should be so natural and not... perfected, because once it's perfected, then it's not really you anymore.
I dig it. How long did it take him to scratch out all those lyrics? Do you know?
Well,
he kind of waited till the last minute.
Yeah, as all good artists, I think you have a long period of time where you could do something, and then you fit it into the last 5 or 10% of the time that you had allotted for it, and you get a lot done real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd worked really hard to get it done on time.
That is amazing.
We're very happy with how it came out.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. That's really cool. So, yeah, if you have a chance, to anybody listening, if you're a fan of the band, don't just order it on iTunes. Actually get the physical copy, because that's really impressive. Is this available? Are you selling this at shows yet, or is it already out?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, June 30th.
So you can order that at AnnaSapphira.com. You can order the physical copy, or you can pick it up at a show.
You should probably spell that, by the way, for people.
Yeah, sure thing. It's ANASAPPHIRA.com.
I'm sure I've asked you guys this in a previous interview, but
Sure thing.
have you had like misspellings on like posters for shows and whatnot?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure.
yeah.
I'm sure it
Misspellings
happens.
and mispronunciations.
Really, yeah.
Usually
nonstop.
it's an extra N or missing a P.
Mm.
I think the worst thing is when you go to a show with some bands that you've never met and they're really trying to do you a solid and promote your band during their set.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who the band was, probably for the better, but they said, "Everyone stick around for Anna Safari up next." And I was just like, well, thank you for the effort. I appreciate that.
He meant well.
He meant well. He did.
Unfortunately, it's almost like in that situation, it's almost better if they just don't try than to try and get it wrong. But
eventually,
yeah,
they're becoming less and less frequent.
yeah, that's good.
We
good.
knew that was happening.
Oh, sure.
The bright side is that we're the only Anna Sapphira on Google. So if you Google that, even if you misspell it a little bit, we'll come up, and that's a real benefit.
Definitely. Definitely.
So
yeah, but not only because it's easy to find that way, but also too you don't have to worry. Like, there's not going to be another band out there. Like, you guys aren't going to hear from somebody one day who also has that name, who says, "Hey, we had the name first." I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's a unique enough name, which is smart.
And I think that people are aware enough in marketing and branding to not pick a name that's that difficult to spell or pronounce. I think we're in the clear.
Right. Well, let's play another track. Is there any kind of a theme to this? Is there any kind of a story to this, or is it more just a collection of songs?
It's a collection of songs written in the same period of time.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was an awful period of time in my life.
Really?
And it all was pretty much written out of that.
Okay.
So
it's not
that might take a minute to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk more after that. What do you want to play next?
Yeah, we can put out the second track that we put out called "Man of War." We actually have got a video for this song on the internets as well as the first song that you played.
Okay, all right, very cool. So let's take a listen. So this is "Man of War" from Anna Sapphira and the new disc "Edgewalker" here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Cool.
Ciao.
You
Welcome to Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We're talking tonight with John and Doug from the band Anna Sapphira. And so we were talking before the break, John, you kind of hinted at it a little bit. Did you want to tell us like what was going on when you wrote this?
Yeah, well, I was having not a midlife crisis, I guess you'd say a quarter-life crisis.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I had expected to happen in my life hadn't, and it was sort of all coming to a head, and I was kind of going nuts.
In what, like, when you say a lot of things that you expected to happen, what do you mean?
Well, the band wasn't going anywhere. I mean, not anywhere that I had expected it to.
Sure.
Or planned on it going.
Yeah.
We all still have daily jobs. So all of those things wrapped together, I wasn't expecting to be working at a factory or at this age, and I had other plans, and they weren't working, and I just would constantly replan out my whole life and then get frustrated that it wasn't all changing the next week. And I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend, who I had been with for, 4.5, 5 years at that
that's
point.
A long time.
Yeah, and it was awful. It was awful. And so in that time when we had broken up, I wrote most of the material for this record. And we're back together now, and things are
good.
amazing.
Good for
They're
you.
absolutely amazing because I'm healthy now.
Yeah.
But I was not healthy. And so Edgewalker was the name of the record comes from the song Wings, and the line goes, wings spread. Where is it? I can't even think of my own line. Wings spread, fear to the wind, Edgewalker stepping off the edge. And it's just this image of not settling for what you understand or think to be, and going towards everything you're scared of to find out what's really real. And
I like that.
And I did that. In that time, and found out some things weren't real, and I found out some things really were real, and that's where this record came from. So it's very much,
and I think it came from that perspective as far as songwriting too.
Yeah.
Like for us as musicians, like we were all during this whole songwriting process and everything, it was very much like a deliberate, like, we're kind of getting too old to do this, but we know this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like continuing to go forward.
We're getting too old for this to be a game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah, it does.
It needs to, you have the illusions of whatever fame or whatever that is, and not like that can really even happen with heavy music anymore, but
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but
hey, you're getting the local Outbreak bump.
That's true.
That in mind.
Watch my mouth. I apologize for that there. Rule 101, don't make comments like that. But we just had to find out what we were really doing.
Yeah.
And not just music, but our lives.
Yeah.
And absolutely. So that's where this came from.
So now, as part of that, sort of, obviously you're taking this, it sounds like you're taking this increasingly more seriously, but is part of that also sort of being at peace with, if it's not exactly where you want it to be, that doesn't mean that you should be discouraged with it. It just means you're still trying to get there.
Yeah, we have goals and vision as a band.
Yeah.
And at before this record, it was very much what we did now was so that we could be someplace in the future.
Right.
And we all grew increasingly unsatisfied with that. So though we have goals and vision for where we would like to be, we're very much focused on how can we do the best and most honest thing, whatever it is, whether
Yeah.
it's T-shirts or writing a song or playing a show. I mean, it is so. I don't head count at shows or any of that anymore. I don't know when this could end.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
And no, we're not playing in front of. Maybe we're not playing in front of 10,000 people, but I mean, we just had our release show, right, for this record, and there wasn't thousands of people there.
Yeah.
But it was one of I very well could have been the best show we've ever had. I mean, the connection with people were connecting with what we were doing. It seemed like in a way that I'd never experienced before.
Wow.
And that's, I mean, what more could you want? Who
Right.
cares about the number?
Right.
It's about those connections, those real connections. You can't. It's good, and we're just very thankful and privileged, and that's how we view this now.
That's really cool.
We get to create. We don't have to create so that we can be something else.
Yeah. Well, too, there's also the theory of approaching these things that, if you just do the best you can with it, work as hard as you can, do the best you can, and focus on what's important, the quality of what you're doing, the rest of it kind of takes care of itself in the sense that eventually you're going to get to where you're trying to get, not by worrying and stressing out over when you get there, but just focusing on, making the most of every opportunity and all of that. So
I think it's kind of like we, for a while, we're trying to figure out a formula. Like, this band's at this level. How did they do that? We want to copy every single thing that they did. And like, how do we get there? And then we realized, like, anything that we've done that works well for us, it wasn't a formula. It came out of honesty, and it came out of, like, I don't know, it's kind of like who we are, know.
And it was so stress driven because when we were younger, we're still young, but when we were younger, we weren't all in serious relationships. We weren't thinking about car payments and bills, and now that we are, it was like, well, if this is going to be it, if we're gonna spend this much time doing this, it needs to be this. And it was killing it. It was just killing it. And so we've come to this place where it's not that. It's just not that anymore. Yeah. And what we really rejoice over as a band, this Edgewalker's only been out for a few weeks, but we've heard back from people on how they've connected with. I mean, this record was written in turmoil. Yeah. I mean, I broke down more than once, just crying and sobbing. I mean, just in so much tension over life and confusion, and this cost us to make this record. Those lyrics cost me to be able to write them. When I say start a war and never make amends, that was me turning on everything that I felt that I had at that moment. Yeah. So it cost us to write this record. So to hear back in a Facebook comment or a Facebook message or someone at a show saying, yo, I listen to this and like I feel that and I have to make this decision and I was able to do it. Like, what more could you ask for to be able to fuel someone else in going towards their purpose and their identity with something that you were able to create artistically? That's the point of art.
It must get overwhelming sometimes. Like, do you get overwhelmed sometimes when you hear that kind of? I mean, that's not just positive feedback. I mean, that's like
really encouraging. Yeah. I mean, it's just gratitude. It's really humbling.
Yeah.
And if there's any part of you that still counts heads at shows or worries about merch money, you're just put to shame. Yeah. Because that's not what adds up in the long run at all. Yeah.
But obviously, too, there's been a shift in attitude toward all that within the band. But is it challenging sometimes with five of you, and because it's been the same lineup all this time, does that in and of itself become a challenge to keep everybody on the same page? Going from worrying about all that stuff to saying, well, no, here's what's really important. I mean, do you all kind of move together, or?
It actually really surprisingly, like, every new idea that we've had and we've brought up to the band, it's been overwhelmingly everyone's thinking the same exact thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Every new idea that we've had with almost every step through this record, it's been
touring, just
everyone's on the same page.
All the big decisions.
Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's something special. That's for sure. That's a rare thing.
Yeah, we're grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's play another track. Of course, you guys got the new disc Edgewalker, and when I say new, very new. This came out. What'd you say? June 30th.
Yep.
Was the release.
That was the one. Yeah.
Very new music. What do you guys want to play next?
Let's check out All Slaves. Hasn't been officially released by itself, but
Is this a so this is a world premiere?
It's on the
We
internet.
like the world
it's on
premieres. Here on
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Certainly the world radio premiere.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. All right. So this is the world premiere of All Slaves by Hannah Sapphira here on Local Outbreak. Let's take a listen. Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt from IPM Nation. I just want to remind everybody, of course, that we do the show here every week at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. And I'm very grateful to Melissa for giving us this space to do the show. And come on down, say hello. Very, very cool place. Funky little gift shop and art gallery. TheStudioNH.com is the website if you want to check it out online. Also, don't forget CentralNHEvents.com. If you need a DJ, Tim Martin from Central NH Events does a great job. And, of course, also Tweak Sound and Mastering, Mr. Matt Marcil, who's been a very important part of making this show possible. Tweaksound.com. He does production and engineering, mixing, mastering, all that stuff. So you can check him out. And, of course, don't forget Sonic Wallpaper. Very, very cool what they're doing, really helping out the community in terms of providing music lessons for people who don't always have an easy time affording that kind of thing. So very, very cool. Sonic Wallpaper. Ryan LeMay and his friends were in a few weeks ago. It's like 5 weeks ago. I can't do math. It was a while ago, but you can check that out too. We do archive all the shows at ipmnation.com/local outbreak. So not only can you hear that, but the gentleman that we have here tonight, Anna Sapphira, you can hear the previous 2 interviews that I did with them. Those are also still on the site at ipmnation.com/local outbreak, as are all the shows going all the way back to the beginning. So what is the best place to go online to keep up with everything you guys are doing as far as shows and releases? And
the good old Book of Faces. That's right.
Yep.
You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Twitter. We're on the big 3, and then we've got AnnaSapphira.com. So just Google us, and you can find every place to connect with us.
Excellent. Are you guys playing a lot of shows right now to support the disc, or
we're getting into playing as much as we can?
Yeah.
We're trying to get out of state as much as possible. So we're playing Soulfest in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
Well, it won't be 2 weeks when this airs, but August 8th.
You guys have done Soulfest before, right? I seem to remember you talking about it before.
This year.
No, this is our 6th year.
Wow.
This Soulfest.
Oh, wow.
We actually started our band 7 years ago at Soulfest.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's an anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, but we don't buy each other gifts because we're broke.
Right.
And then we'll be playing I Matter Festival in New York at the end of August, which we're very excited about.
Cool.
And we will just be getting out as far as we can.
What's that festival like? What is it?
It's a free festival.
Oh, really?
It's really, really awesome. It's
it's in Horseheads, New York, and it was started because there was forgive me for butchering this story. It's a powerful one. There's an extremely high, or at least was, extremely high suicide rate in that area.
Oh.
And the festival was started to give kids something. Just give them something, and that's why it's for free. So they just booked some great bands that kids in that area were into, and the first year, I believe it was very small. Yeah. And it's grown exponentially since.
There was like 10,000 kids there last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that many, but it's
well, that's because
awesome.
You don't count heads anymore.
That's right. I don't do that. That's just wrong. But it's great. They've got all kinds of organizations. They have Heart Support there, which is an organization that we've teamed up with this past year, which is Jake Lewis from August Burns Red started this. It's basically an online community with connecting with all different bands on different issues that they struggle with or have faced. And there's forums where kids can talk to each other, talk to links with all different types of counseling for specific problems, be it drug addiction or pornography or depression or just anxiety or just a resource. All kinds of resources.
Yeah, just basically, if you think you're alone, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We got like one video up right now that John did, and so I think you can even do like heartsupport.com/AnnaSapphira, and you'll see that video.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So iMatter's got all kinds of things like that, and it's just catered to building the health of that area. It's awesome.
Where now? You said that it's Horsehead, isn't it?
Horsehead, yeah, it's right near Elmira, New York.
Okay, I know where that is, Elmira.
It used to be right in Elmira, and I think they had to move the venue for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
But the next big thing right now is Soulfest.
Soulfest, yes.
Yeah, and then like 2 weeks after that we play I Matter.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay, and these are all on the Facebook page, I assume.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
the music that we've heard tonight, is that already available online, or?
Yep.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can purchase it online for direct download at
Excellent.
Bandcamp, and the obvious iTunes,
Sure,
of course. Can't forget iTunes, and it's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's anywhere.
It's anywhere.
Okay. Of
You
course,
can hear it.
we'll encourage people to.
Buy the real thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only to see you guys live, but to check out the artwork. That's
Yeah.
extremely cool. So
Yep.
that's worth getting for that too. So very cool, guys. Thank you so much. This has been great, and I hope everything works out with the other guys who couldn't be here tonight.
I hope they make it back alive.
Well,
It'll be
I hope
hard
so,
to find
too.
replacements before.
Yeah, this would kind of be
Gee
a
whiz.
bummer interview.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this would be-
yeah. Although an
That would be
interesting
good.
one because
Yeah.
could tell the whole story.
Doug and I would write a very sad 2-piece album in about a year. Just
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. What do you guys want to play to wrap up the show? We'll play one more track.
We can slow it down with a track called Finders Seekers.
Okay. Finders, Seekers?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So this is Finders, Seekers from Anna Sapphira here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. Thank you, guys.
Hi, this is Ryan from the New Prophets, and I'd like to tell you about a program called Sonic Wallpaper at Toad Hall. It is a donation-based guitar lessons open to everyone and anyone that has a desire to learn guitar. The classes are from 6 to 8 every Tuesday at Toad Hall in Franklin, and Danielle is one of our students.
Being a part of Sonic Wallpaper has helped me find where I fit in and has opened my eyes to the endless possibilities that are out there.
I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Manchester Music Mill, German Motorsports, Bob Rice, Boscop Incorporated, and Abbott Business Networks. Email us for more information or to sign up at thenewprophets@gmail.com.
IPMNation.com.